gun deaths could become easier to study thanks to the new spending bill. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention now have the government's permission to resume gun violence research. In writing, the massive omnibus spending bill that President Donald Trump signed today clarifies that a 22-year-old ban on using federal funds to advocate or promote gun control doesn't actually ban research. While the bill is a step in the right direction, researchers will only believe that the landscape of gun violence research is actually changing when they see money for it in the CDC's budget. It's not bad news, it's good news, says Jeffrey Swanson, a professor in psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Duke University. Elon Musk deletes Facebook pages he didn't even know he had. Elon Musk has jumped on the delete Facebook train, deleting the pages for SpaceX and Tesla from the disgraced social media site and erasing their million-strong followings. Musk originally joined the conversation with a snarky response to WhatsApp founder Brian Acton. After that, multiple users justifiably asked him why he was allowing Facebook pages for his companies to remain up. During all this, Mashable reporter Carrie Flynn brought up an issue between Musk and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, namely that a SpaceX rocket once destroyed a Facebook satellite. Uber suffered from self-driving car problems before Sunday's fatal crash. All was not well with Uber's self-driving car project before the fatal crash this past Sunday in Arizona, which has prompted widespread criticism of the ride-hailing giant's approach to autonomous vehicle development and forced the company to pause much of its operations surrounding the technology. The goal of offering driverless ride-hailing services to the general public by the end of the year was quickly falling apart, and Uber's self-driving cars had a record of failing to operate correctly under a number of standard road conditions, according to internal company notes obtained by the New York Times. This included issues that involved operators of the fleet of Volvo XC90s like the one that killed 49-year-old Elaine Herzberg in Tempe, Arizona on Sunday to intervene more often than engineers expected, something that seriously threatened to delay the company's implementation of self-driving technology. According to the New York Times report, when Uber moved to a single operator, some employees expressed safety concerns to managers, according to the two people familiar with Uber's operations. Watch this AI figure out how to place blocks in Minecraft. Artificial intelligence doesn't compare favorably to humans when it comes to problem solving. Ask any 8-year-old child to place a few blocks on a grid in Minecraft and they'll almost certainly be bored by the task. Stefan Alanis, a researcher with the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Technische Universität Berlin, yesterday published a white paper titled Deep Reinforcement Learning with Model Learning and Monte Carlo Tree Search in Minecraft. In his paper, the scientist explains his efforts to create a superior method for training an AI to perform simple tasks based on visual input. Review: these two ultra-rugged phones can survive even the clumsiest of owners. Imagine if someone extracted and condensed the sheer rugged badassery of 24's Jack Bauer and put it into a phone. Two phones, actually. Over the past couple of months, I've had the opportunity to play around with two ultra-rugged handsets, the EMU M1 and the Blackview 9000 Pro. Instagram on desktop is better than mobile. Change my mind. Instagram launched in 2010 as a photo-sharing app designed to capture picturesque moments of our otherwise mundane lives. Now, most Instagram users opt for the mobile experience, replete with its familiar motion: scroll, double tap to like, scroll, scroll. The only other person who I know of who prefers Deskgram is my mom. Review: the Logitech G513 is in a class all its own. Logitech's G513 mechanical keyboard is in a class all its own. For the past few weeks I've been using a pair of G513s as my daily driver for work and my after-hours keyboard for gaming. My usual gripe with keycaps sporting a high profile is how much they wobble, but both the tactile and linear key versions of the G513 Carbon, the silver model, only supports tactile, were among the sturdiest I've tested. Apple could bring accessibility emoji to Unicode. Apple today submitted an official proposal to the Unicode Consortium, requesting a greater variety of emoji representing those with disabilities. It also includes both a guide dog in a harness and a service dog in a vest, with Apple pointing out the different purposes of each animal and why they should each be included. Apple points out in the proposal that 1 in 7 people has a disability of some kind, and that emoji should reflect their lived experience just as it does for everyone else. At Apple, we believe that technology should be accessible to everyone and should provide an experience that serves individual needs. Steven Soderbergh's all-iPhone movie Unsane makes a poor showing for the iPhone 7 Plus. Steven Soderbergh's new movie Unsane fits into a long line of woes the crazy one here. Films like Alfred Hitchcock's The Lady Vanishes, Otto Preminger's Bunny Lake is Missing, and modern equivalents like Flight Plan and The Forgotten all hinge on protagonists being told they're deluded and that someone they clearly remember never actually existed. Is voice character Sawyer actually being stalked, or are her minders right when they tell her she's irrational and can't trust what she's seeing? Game developers look to unions to fix the industry's exploitative workplace culture. In a meeting room on the second floor of the newly renovated Moscone South Exhibition Complex, a wide-ranging and diverse group of game developers came together on Wednesday to voice interest in unionizing their industry. It is the first of many promised discussions on the topic to be held by the IGBTA, which does not in fact have leverage over game studios or publishers and is aimed only partly at advocacy issues. Unionization is now top of mind for many industry employees who, for years and behind closed doors, have discussed exploitative and toxic working conditions up and down the industry ladder. Affective as automotive AI could keep distracted and drowsy drivers from causing accidents. Affective this week announced its automotive AI platform for monitoring humans. If the idea of a robot watching you while you drive bothers you, consider that most accidents are caused by distracted drivers. Manufacturers of regular vehicles, the kinds that people drive, could implement automotive AI into consoles as a detection and warning system. Elon Musk has deleted Tesla and SpaceX's Facebook pages after Twitter challenge. During a tweet storm, Elon Musk has removed both of his company's Facebook pages after being challenged to do so by a few of his followers. The pages of both SpaceX and Tesla are now inactive. Musk claimed he didn't even know it existed and then said he would, probably in an attempt to preserve his the man status. How to save ourselves in the future. As you've probably heard before, we're in the middle of a digital revolution. Slowly we're also beginning to realize that this smart new world is out of control. Andrew Keen is the author of several books criticizing the rise of the internet and digital technology. Meet the weird controllers of Alt.ctrl.gdc, a rhythm game where you fist bump and high-five a partner. Alt.ctrl.gdc features games with alternative controllers from the simple, like a spray bottle or slappable rubber zombie head, to the elaborate, like a small tent, where players role-play a unicorn with an office job. Some of these games go on to commercial release, like the 2015 virtual reality title Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. SegWit has been adopted much faster than Bitcoin Cash by traders. The war on Bitcoin is far from over. In spite of attracting wide adoption, when it first launched back in August last year, it appears that Bitcoin Cash still lags behind Bitcoin's SegWit soft fork when it comes to overall transactions processed. The research arm of cryptocurrency exchange desk BitMEX found that SegWit has 31.5% more cumulative transaction volume than Bitcoin Cash. Best Buy won't sell Huawei phones anymore. Best Buy will no longer sell Huawei's phones, according to a pair of reports from CNET and Reuters. This marks the latest blow to the phone manufacturer's attempts to sell devices in the United States. Major carriers including AT&T and Verizon have refused to sell the company's phones due to pressure from the U.S. government, leaving retailers like Best Buy and Amazon as the only remaining places for U.S. customers to get devices like the recently released Mate 10 Pro or upcoming P20 line of devices. How to become a better public speaker on your own time. It's a nightmare that's jolted us all awake out of a dead sleep at some time or other. You've got to stand up and give the big speech or the big presentation. In fact, with the right training like the steps laid out in this complete presentation and public speaking course, a $15, over 90% off from TNW Deals, you can not only beat back the butterflies, but even feel the commanding power of delivering the perfect speech. Nintendo's WiiWare dies this weekend, so here's what to download. You won't know it from the Switch's ever-growing library of indie games, but there was a time when Nintendo really didn't know how to run a digital store. WiiWare, the company's first venture into online game publishing, never made a major impact. The prohibitive 40 MB download limit, lack of advertising, and developer-hostile sales requirements all played a part. From Monday, March 26, a decade and a day after the service launched, you'll no longer be able to add points to the Wii Shop channel's digital wallet, meaning this weekend is your last ever chance to buy these games or anything from the Wii's virtual console. Chevron's lawyer says climate change is real and it's your fault. In a federal court in San Francisco on Wednesday, major oil companies concurred with the scientific consensus, saying it was extremely likely that human activity has been driving global warming since the middle of the 20th century. Chevron accepts what the IPCC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has reached consensus on concerning science and climate change, said Theodore Boutros, who represents Chevron and is heading up the assorted legal team for the 5 oil companies that are defendants in this lawsuit. Coonan requested leave to file their own scientific presentation documents. S3.amazonas.com 27 318,400 thirds 03511651868.1.pdf response content disposition equals INLINE% 3B% 20 FILENAME% 3D% 22 ND% 20 California% 2017 CV 06011% 20 DCKT% 20,157,000% 20 FILAD% 202,018 03 to 19.pdf% 22 and XMs expires equals 604,799 and XM's date equals 20,180,321 T010851Z and XM's algorithm equals AWS4HMACSHA256 and XM's credential equals AKIHADK6JKKSMS3DQS4Q 20,180,321 AS East 1 S3 AWS4REQUEST and XM's signet headers equals HOST and XM switch questions anthropogenic climate change. Inside the bizarre upside-down bankruptcy of Mt. Gox. Every 6 months for the past 4 years, some number of former customers of the defunct Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange have gathered in a small room in a Tokyo courthouse to hear an update from Nobuaki Kobayashi, the stoic Japanese attorney appointed as the trustee for the case. The number of creditors attending the meeting has dwindled over time. The first one reportedly drew more than 100 people, but the most recent one earlier this month drew fewer than 30, according to the estimates of one attendee.